Oh, yeah. All right, y'all. All right, welcome, 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 welcome to another live for me. That the name of that song was Crown Royal by Jill Scott. For your listening pleasure today. Here we are on this Thursday afternoon. This Thursday afternoon. Look. I've been going live during the daytime, giving y'all communication tips in relationships, be it whether that relationship is romantic or not romantic. Either way, I am going to help you communicate better because it is going to help you be better in relationships. All right, y'all. So I'm gonna give everybody about a couple of minutes to get in here. And if you are on TikTok, give me some hearts. If you give me some hearts, they will invite more people. If you're on Instagram, give me some hearts. Um, I know that in the daytime, people at work, I don't get as many people watching, but we get some people watching, and those people are what matter at the time that they're watching. So on Instagram and YouTube, um, what we can do is we can watch it again. You can watch it again. All right. So that is what we are going to do. Is that so that's what I want y'all to look at. All right. So today I'm going to give you three tips on how to disagree without fighting. You know how sometimes y'all, you know what, when you disagree with somebody, some of us feel like no, Barbara. The name of the song is Royal, Crown Royal, not Queen Royalty, but Crown Royal. Um, all right, I'm trying to. So this is what I want to do today. So we're going to talk about how do you say. I've been on this for a long time for the last few weeks because I got my challenge coming up on how do you communicate to get your needs met. Now there are a lot of people who say they know how to communicate, but they don't. 98.3% of people are poor communicators. That's just the truth. And I can prove it to you. I often say, are you one of these two? Has this ever happened to you? Have you ever wanted to say something to someone, but you didn't say it because you either didn't know what to say or you didn't say it because you were worried about how the other person would feel about what you have to say? And most people say yes. And then I say, well, you're a poor communicator then, because there never should be a point where you don't say it unless it's toxic. And even toxic things, there is a way to say them. So today, I am going to teach you how to disagree without fighting. How do you communicate something? You just signed up for my challenge. Oh, you signed up for it. Okay, great. I look forward to it. You're going to learn a lot in there. For real, for real, for real. It's going to be 5 days. And in those 5 days, I had to segment it off. Each day is a specific day. And I am going to go into the psychology of why we don't communicate. And then how do you push past that? We're going to talk about that. And so what I try to do, what I'm going to do these few days that I've been doing this, what I've tried to do is I've tried to show you things that absolutely work. Now, Braveheart says, I hate confrontation and have a fear of abandonment. Yes, that is why a lot of people don't communicate. That amongst other reasons. And what we're going to do is in my challenge, I am going to show you, help you how to get past that fear and still do it. How do you, because that fear you're feeling is a real emotion and fear is nothing more than anticipation of a negative outcome. Fear is nothing more than, listen to what I'm saying, what fear is. Fear is nothing more than when you are anticipating a negative or an adverse outcome to what you have to say. Okay? And so that's what fear is. All right. Now, there are different forms, different modes, but there are ways that you can overcome fear. But what we're going to do, we're going to get started here. I am Coach Ken, aka the professor, aka the doctor. I don't have a doctorate degree. I simply call myself a doctor because people come to me when they are in pain. Yes, peace and love, says fear is learned. Peace and love. Thank you so much for joining us. Let me explain something to you. Do you know a baby? A baby is only born with two fears. A baby is born with two fears. Okay? And those two fears are fear of loud noises and fear of heights. Every other fear is learned. But we innately come with fear of heights and fear of loud noises, okay? Just so you know, there are some fears that come with us, but most fears we learn. All right, we're going to do this real quickly. Where are you guys checking in from? Give me your name and where you're checking in from so I can properly acknowledge you so we can get busy about what we are doing. Give me your name and where you're checking in from. So somebody says, is that Aisha from Oakland in the building? Aisha said, I got an older male, 2 girlfriends. Oh, Lord. Kay from Chicago in the building. All right, Aisha, we'll talk about that. Funny side, which is Audrey from Georgia in the building. April from Jacksonville, Florida in the building. All right, we got somebody from Long Beach, California. There's that Janae from Sandria from Cameroon in the building. Okay. Oh, I hate you got to get off, but I understand it if you got to go. All right. We got someone from Ontario, Canada in the building. Shell from England in the building. We got Mr. 10K from Indiana. Yeah, in the building. Glad to see you. Thank you for saying my name correctly. I try my best. Valencia from Augusta, Georgia. I said August. From Augusta, Georgia. Teresa from Wilmington, Delaware in the building. All right. All right. So look, y'all, here's what we're going to do. I want to got Arkansas in the building. So this is what I want to do. I want to give y'all some strategies today of how I'm gonna give you 3 strategies of how to avoid an argument. Now, a lot of people are joining my challenge, and somebody took me up on the offer yesterday. And I told you, if you had a question and you weren't sure whether my communication challenge was for you, email me. And email me your problem or whatever, and then I will call you. I got someone that called me from Germany. They had an American phone. I talked with her today. She ended up joining the challenge, and I am going to help her change her life. I'm going to help her change her relationship because, y'all, listen, she was willing to take the first step. She reached out to me, and she joined the challenge. Now, I already helped her a little bit. But I'm gonna tell you this: if I got a challenge coming up, and I'm gonna talk about it in a minute. So if you hang loose, we're gonna talk about what you're gonna learn in the challenge. But today, I'm giving y'all previews of the challenge. What I'm doing is giving you value, things you can use today, things you can use today. All right. Um, you tried, Slim Thick says, I have a question, Coach Ken. I tried this yesterday. You tried what? And the person still wanted to argue. How do I handle that? I don't know what you tried. You got to write what you tried. So, but then I can kind of tell you. All right. So, this is the thing, y'all. Most of you have never done the techniques that I taught you. You've never done it before. So, you just go out and try to do something. You don't know context of what to do or how to do it. But what I'm telling you is these things here, if you attempt, when I say attempt, and you say, I'm going to do it, and I'm not going to be scared to do it, whatever happens, happens, because what I'm doing is not working anyway. It's not working anyway. So Coach Ken, who has saved, many relationships, many. I've helped many people change their lives. And so what I'm going to do today is I'm going to give you strategies. Now, for those of you who have deeper problems and you say, hey, look, someone just says, how do you recover from a narcissist? You got to come to my communication, come to my challenge. And I'm going to tell you that. I've tried how to communicate and how to argue. Yeah, you probably never should. You probably never done my technique, Slim Thick. I can assure you that. Now, all right. So today, what I'm going to give you is, and we ain't gonna stay on. I'm not gonna be before you very long. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to teach you. For those of you who hang around, I'm going to show you how to get into my 5-day challenge that starts on Monday and goes to next Friday. And what I'm going to do is show you, if you are on Instagram or TikTok or Facebook, I got all these platforms, or either YouTube, go up to my bio, click on my bio, and you will see my link tree. You'll see the link tree that has all of my products and stuff. Click on it, and you will see the 5-day communication challenge. For those of you who want it. Now, you can join up for general admission, or you can join VIP. If you join VIP, you will get personal time with me. You get to come an hour earlier. I will answer every question that you have. That is a whole lot less expensive than booking private sessions. So if you are interested in that, if you are not sure about my challenge, the name of my challenge is called Communicating to Get Your Needs Met. All right? So we'll talk about that in a second. All right. So today, though, 3 strategies on how to disagree without fighting. I want you to write this quote down. Write this quote down, please. Disagreements are inevitable, but arguments are optional. Disagreements are inevitable, but arguments are optional. You see, many times we think because we disagree that we have to argue, we have to defend our position. We have to be in a certain mode, because a lot of times when you're in a relationship, be it romantic or not, if someone disagrees with you because you have been conditioned in growing up, you've seen it in your families. You've seen it as you've grown up. You've experienced trauma in previous relationships, and you are under the impression that disagreements automatically lead to arguments. How many of you believe that? That soon as somebody, or how many of you have experienced it? Not that you necessarily believe it, but you were in a relationship, be it romantic or not, that whenever you disagreed with the person, it turned into an argument. Is that true? All right. So here's the thing. Barbara I want y'all to hear what she just said. I normally don't read the comments. She says, I don't need help in communicating, coach. I need help to understand the silence of a loving man. Well, I disagree. I think You do need help with communication because in communicating, you will get the understanding of the silence of a loving man. So we just see that a little bit differently. But now, so, but I don't have to. I get off track in a minute. Now, let me go back on track. So what we're going to talk about. So the thing is, today, here's what we're going to say. I'm going to give you three ways to disagree with someone without fighting, without arguing, without fighting. So number one, instead of saying, and I write these down every day. Every day I write them down. Okay. Instead of saying, I disagree with you. You know how people say, I disagree with you. Instead of saying that, because when you disagree, the other person sees it as a challenge to what they're saying. So what the other person hears is you're thinking that I'm wrong about what I'm saying. And whenever someone believes that, what they want to do is they get stern to defend their position. All right. And then what happens many times, then you feel like you got to defend your position. Then what do? All of a sudden, it becomes ba, 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 ba. Then we end up fighting. And it was never intended that way. Instead, here's what I want you to do. I just want you to tweak one sentence in there and simply say this. Instead of saying, I disagree with you, I want you to say this. I see things differently. I see things differently, okay? Or my viewpoint or my perspective is different. My viewpoint is different than that. My perspective is a little different than that. Why is it that I would say that as opposed to saying I disagree? Because whenever you tell a person you disagree with them, they're saying that you're challenging what I'm saying. If I say to you that you say something, I say, you know what, my perspective is a little bit differently than that, a little bit different than that, or my viewpoint is different than that, then the other person is willing to listen to your viewpoint because you are not threatening their position. You're not threatening or challenging their viewpoint. I did this more recently with somebody I disagreed with, and it was over politics. Now, I never get into politics on my page. I don't. I don't talk about it. I don't get in a disagreement. Well, it was with one of my friends, and my friend had a strong viewpoint about their politics. I simply said, instead of me saying, oh, I disagree with that, I simply said, I have a different viewpoint than that. I see that just a tad bit differently. And you know what he said? Well, tell me why. And so then the conversation became much more constructive than a person attempting to defend a position. Now, he wanted to hear what I had to say. I wanted to hear what he had to say. So that's number one. That's number one. Okay. Now, second thing, I wrote this down. Instead of saying, because remember, the title of this is How to Disagree Without Fighting, without fighting with the person, without arguing with the person, without getting into a fight. All right. Second thing, instead of saying this, that's not true. You ever said to somebody, that ain't true? That's not true. And whenever you say that, you ever heard somebody say, you calling me a liar? You calling me a liar? And because that's what they heard. They heard that you're calling them a liar. And so when a person believes that you're calling them a liar, what happens? They believe that they're being attacked and they have to defend themselves, right? So whenever you say that's not true, that's what the other person hears. But instead, here's what I want you to say. Instead, write this down because I wrote it down. Now, that doesn't align with what I believe. Now, notice what I just said. When I say, you know what, truthfully, honestly, that doesn't align with what I believe. I did not call you a liar. Now, all of a sudden, I just opened up the format for dialogue. When I say that doesn't align with what I believe or what I know or what I know. And you could also say, and I told one of my students to say this the other day. Instead of saying you're a liar, you're a liar. You lying. I know your ass lying. You could say, I have a different understanding of that. My understanding of that is a tad bit different. And so now the other person does not see you as condemning them, attacking them as a liar. And so when you simply say, I have a different understanding of that, or that doesn't align with what I know or what I believe. You're not saying that you're a liar. Um, you're not saying that you're a liar. I'm simply saying I'm conveying a point. I'm conveying a point. I'm not backing down. I'm very articulate with the point, but now I open the stage. I open the format. I open the platform for more dialogue without arguing, without fighting. If y'all learn these techniques that I teach people on a daily basis of how to be better communicators, how to be better in relationships and communicate. Peace of Love say you have to be mentally fit to change your approach. It's hard, but possible. It's not. See, here's the thing. It's not hard for me, Peace of Love. You know why? And I'm glad you said that, because you're right. A lot of us have been conditioned. In other words, we've been conditioned our whole life to communicate the way we do. That is why we get the results we get. And so in my academy, inside of my challenge next week, that's what the challenge is for, to interrupt the pattern. Each one of us has a pattern of communicating the way that we do. And until we interrupt that pattern, we will never be able to communicate differently. We will never be able to flourish in our relationships. You will never be able to meet somebody in dating because you communicate the way that you do. And if you're not willing to change, you're right, Peace of Love. Peace of Love say you have to be fit. You have to be conditioned to a new way of doing things. It's just like y'all working on your job. If you get a new job, you must be conditioned to the new job by what? Doing it. Doing it. By doing the job. By somebody training you, being a coach. I'm just saying. So Barbara keeps chiming in, and I gotta admit this. She says, my dear, it's hard to try to communicate with the man who's silent and far away. Now, Barbara, you're trying to communicate with somebody who's silent and far away. Now, when you say far away, are they in your proximity or are they in another area far away? Now, if they're silent, what happens is they're silent for a reason. That means you're not connecting with them on a deeper level because you can't understand the silence. But he's silent for a reason. He's silent because he doesn't feel safe to share with you. That is why he's silent. And until you're able to communicate on a deeper level, you will never be able to tap into it. You'll never be able to tap into it. There are so many people. There are so many people who are in relationships with people who don't communicate. And the first thing they say to me, Coach, they just don't communicate. I'm tired of it. They don't communicate. Well, and you know what I always say? I always say, number one, if the person you're trying to communicate with, number one, they don't feel safe communicating with you. That's number one. Because if they felt safe communicating with you, they would. Number two, you are not equipped. You're not equipped to dig deep enough to find out why the silence exists. See, you're not equipped, and all you do is say, communicate with me, communicate with me, communicate with me, communicate with me. You know what? Everybody, you don't have to be a talker to communicate. Communication is not around just talking. It is not. Communication is centered around conversation. That doesn't mean the conversation has to be a whole lot. It just means the person is willing to communicate that leads to conversation. And because most people that listen to me blame the other person, most people that listen to me blame the other person. They just don't communicate. They just don't talk. And they never wonder why they don't talk to them. They never wonder why. They never wonder why I can't get them to communicate. They don't wonder why. Because there's something about you, the way you communicate, that is not a catalyst for them to share what's inside them. You've never been trained. You don't know. You don't know the nuances. You don't know how to code. You don't know. You never got trained. And then you blame them. You blame them. Yeah. And so that's all I'm saying. So Ms. Jackson says, some people are simply mentally immature. It takes a toll when you've been trying for so long. I understand getting to know someone and reading body language, understand background, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. Okay. Now, Ms. Jackson, let me say this to you. That if the person isn't worth communicating with, why try? If you feel like you can never reach the person, why try? Walk away from the relationship. If it's not worth getting the tools to understanding how. I'll give you an example of this, y'all. I'll give you an example. Last night, I was coaching a couple. And this couple came to me 6 months ago. They came to me 6 months ago. And the couple, they were at their wits' end. They'd gone to see 3 therapists. They'd gone to see 3 therapists. And so when they came to me, the lady came to me. She's actually one of my students now, both of them. And she told me he doesn't communicate. He doesn't communicate. That's what she kept saying. It's him. I need you to fix him. All right. So me doing what I do, we had a discovery session. And so what I realized that it was not just him. It was that he did not feel safe in the relationship. He did not feel. Now he had never explained this to her because he didn't know how, because it always led to an argument. Okay. And so what I said was, so over the next 3 months, the first 3 months, I did 3 months 2 times. The next 3 months, I only focused on one thing: getting the person to see the world from their partner's eyes. That's all I got them to do. That is the first thing I got them to do. And then the second 3 months, once I got them to see the world, why the other person do. See, what we look at, y'all, is what people are doing. We never, because we don't understand why they're doing it, we just simply say they're the problem. And see, it's only when you understand why. You understand why people don't communicate, why people say what they do, why people explode every time an argument happens. We don't understand what their past is. We don't understand all of these things. And so what I do is focus on why. And then once I get both parties to understand why, then we focus on how. And so you got to understand this. And I'll leave it at this. I was going to give you 3, but I'm going to just give you 2. I'll leave it at this. The one thing I want y'all to understand is this: is everybody I've ever helped find the person of their dreams, find their husband or their wife, repair a relationship. Every person I helped, the first thing that I had to do was get them out of the mentality that the other person is at fault. At their fault. I said, and the other person was wrong, because there are 4 words that I don't use. I don't use something is right or wrong or good or bad. I simply use 2 words or 2 phrases. Is it working or not working? If it is not working, let's figure out why and how we can get it to work. You see, a lot of people are frustrated. A lot of people are frustrated, but the thing is, you won't get the training, you won't get the coaching that you need to fix the relationship. Yes, you can be the catalyst to change your relationship, but you've got to be willing to do that. Now, I've been coaching a long time, y'all, and I've helped hundreds of people, thousands of people change their relationship. And I always start the same. I don't blame anybody. I don't blame men. I don't blame women. But what I do is say that we all got to level up. And here's what I say. Do you know that one person can be the catalyst to change a whole relationship? And you might say, why you say that, coach? Why you say that? No, he won't come to therapy. He won't come to coaching. And what I say is, I said, why don't you come? I want you to come. And why don't you start doing things differently? Because what's going to happen is the other person over time, I will show you how to create change and have the other person want to come because they see the difference in you. But a lot of people say, if you ain't changing, I ain't going to change. If you don't do it, I'm not going to do it. And that is fundamentally, that is going to keep you in the same situation you're in. You see, a lot of people they will reciprocate change. They don't know how to change. They just know we've been doing this so long. And you got to be the one to say, you know what? I'm willing, coach. I'm willing. And so that leads me to this. If you're willing to change, I can help you repair almost any relationship if both parties want to, if they're willing. Now, if one of y'all checked out and you're done, then it's over. Hey, Sierra, what's up? How are you? Sierra says, I had passive aggressive tendencies, became aware of it, and it changed my relationship. That's what I'm talking about. That's what I'm talking about. Sometimes it is what it is and what it's going to be, then leave it. Peace and Love said, it is what it is. It's going to be, if it's going to be that, then leave it. Why stay? Why stay? If it is what it is and it ain't gonna change, why stay? Why get on here and even ask? Because if you made up your mind that that's it, if your person has made up their mind that that's it, then you know what I say? Did I say move on? Stop torturing yourself. Stop torturing yourself about it. But for those of you who really want to you want to make it work. So I got a 5-day challenge coming up, and it's literally going to change people's lives. I've had people sign up for it, quite a few people sign up for it. It's called Communicating to Get Your Needs Met. In this class, I'm going to talk about how do you get a person to open up that don't communicate. I'm going to talk about that. I'm going to show you how. I'm going to answer all of your questions. I'm going to show you how to communicate through conflict. If you're dating, I'm going to show you how to interact with somebody to find out if they're the one for you. I'm going to show you all that. And for those of you who really want to learn, because everybody don't want to learn, but for those of you who want to learn, I want you to do this. If you're on TikTok or Instagram, what I want you to do is I want you to go up to my link tree, and I want you to click on it, and it'll say 5-day challenge. All right, starts next Monday. I won't be on live here at all, but it starts next Monday. Teresa Hunt, I see you. I'm putting the link for YouTube right here. I just put it in the chat section of comment, so you can go there. Now, if you want to go up to my link tree, click, and you can join the general session. The general session starts at 7:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, or you can join the VIP. VIP comes an hour early, 6:30, and I answer all your questions. You're going to get content. You're going to get content that you didn't get. Okay. Now, if you're going to get content that you didn't get there, now, so that's what I'm going to say. Now, listen. You put it here. Let's see if I don't know if I can put it there. So what I want you to do is that 1990 Calzada. I want you to go up to after you get off Instagram, go up to my bio on my page. I have a link tree there. Click it because I can't type it in while I'm on here. Go up to my link tree, click on it, and you'll see 5-day challenge. And somebody just asked, yes, my Just Ask book is universal. Now I put 5 questions to ask. I mean, 250 questions to know if he's the one, but it's the exact thing for she. I mean, it is universal. I just do it for she because that's most of my clients. 30% of my clients are men, 70% are women. So I just wrote it for that. But the book is universal. Yeah, it's called Just Ask 250 questions to know if he's the one. But it could easily be 250 questions to know if she's the one. That is the most. I just rewrote that book. I just finished that book last week. And I was going to, for anybody that joins VIP, I'm going to give it to them free. If you join my challenge, you get it for free if you join VIP. But that book, if you're wanting to learn how to communicate and get deeper on a deeper level, even when you're dating or in a relationship, how to create more intimacy, how to get to know if this person is in alignment with you. What I want you to do is you get that. Someone from Scotland, hey, how you doing? I appreciate you. I appreciate you. All right. Now, so what I'll say is, and I'm gonna jump off, but what I will say is join the challenge. Now, if you're not sure, you get the book, Calzada, 1990. You get the book at the same place. Go up to my link tree in my bio, and click on it, and you'll see Just Ask 250 questions to know if he's the one. It's an ebook. It's a digital book, and it is amazing. All right. Now, so I'm about to jump off, but I will leave y'all with this. I've been doing these all week, just giving y'all tidbits of information, motivation, and inspiration. I believe in real life relationships. I've been married 23 years. I got 6 grandkids. Listen, I've put together so many relationships. I'm on a TV show called Unfaithful, Caught in the Act. I'm the real deal. I don't. Do you have the new version? Adapt. I just rewrote the entire book, and I rewrote it based on the philosophy that I adapted over the last year to help people get in relationships. And I took several people through it 8 months ago, and one got married, and all 3 are in relationships. All right. I never did number 3. Number 3, how do you disagree without fighting? Was this. I'm sorry, I didn't give you number 3. Number 3 simply says, instead of saying, I don't believe that. You know how you say, I don't believe that? I don't believe that. Say, I'm surprised by that. And I use that because what that is, I'm surprised by that. Because when you say I don't believe that, what essentially you're doing is calling the person a liar. That's what their brain hears. But if you say I'm surprised by that, they are open to more dialogue. These are just some of the strategies that I will teach you. And if you are not sure if my challenge is right for you or any of my products is right for you, I want you to email me. I'm willing to call you. And a lady took me up on that this morning. She was like, I didn't even think you was going to call me. I was like, email me at coachkencanion@gmail. Or you can inbox me on one of the platforms, coachkencanion@gmail, and tell me you're not sure if the challenge is for me. I want to know if it can help me or any of my products. And then I will call you. All right? All right, y'all. That is my time. Y'all have a great day. I'm out.